What up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Kenny, joined by my main man Skips. Man, we're coming at y'all once again with another weekly recap. You know, we've been hitting you every single Thursday with that good old She-Hulk, man. It has been a wild ride, to say the least, man. A lot of ups, a lot of downs for some people. Some people have been down and never got up. It has been all over the place with the social media reaction. The internet is ablaze. The internet is set on fire. It is going crazy right now. The She-Hulk attorney-at-law reception is IDK. It's crazy, man. It's all over the place.
Very true.
I've been all up and down with the show. I am definitely saying, haven't hated the show or anything like that. And I know my man Skips, man. He's been pushing through, trying to get through this thing, trying to always looking for the positive aspects of the show, man. But I know he hasn't been feeling it as much, man. And everyone was sitting around waiting and asking and yelling from the rooftops, "Where's Daredevil?
Oh yeah.
Where is he?
This was
Look,
it.
it's his helmet. Next episode, nope. Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Nice wedding. It's gonna be next episode.
Nope. That's when it fucking goes off
what
again.
the hell, Luke Jacobson again? Why is it showing up? It's time.
Finally.
Matt motherfucking Murdock is
Oh,
back
damn, look at
in
that
the
thumbnail,
episode 8 recap, baby.
Oh hell yeah.
Recap, baby. Matty
That-
Boy is back. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, already premiered in the MCU during No Way Home, as y'all MCU nerds know. But this is his first really big role as a Daredevil, and getting to see both sides of the character, man. And that, in and of itself, was a blessing. The moment has arrived, so y'all can calm down in the comments out in the world, and everyone in the world of Reddit and all that shit. Calm down. He's here. He has arrived. And I gotta know, from the biggest Daredevil fan I know, man, we rocking the colors. We got ketchup. We got mustard. What are you feeling about the 8th episode of She-Hulk, man?
I honestly, it went from meh to okay. I think it's mainly because like I enjoyed seeing like Matt officially be part, Daredevil officially be part within the show, and it actually has him doing some action scenes besides a quick cameo.
Good stuff.
I thought it was cool. There was like some things with the character that I was surprised by, like how his movement is so different already compared to the Netflix show.
Right. A little more acrobatic and kind of like a little bit lighter on his feet.
Hugely, which like Daredevil is supposed to be. That's something that like Netflix, they try to adapt but kind of make it more grounded within the sense from what they were trying to show within the
Dark
series.
Knight trilogy vibes for sure.
Yeah. So I didn't mind the whole how he is with the movement wise, like him jumping out, like going off the building, and him going like climbing down all the way down from like the parking structure. I was like, all right, that's pretty fucking sick. I'm like that's something we never would have seen that for fucking pretty much in Netflix.
From Office parkour.
Parkour, yeah, that's all I remember. I just see Michael Scott parkour. It's like right when he got to the end of it. That's what
shit ever.
That's what I had that quick glimpse of just Michael Scott doing that.
Parkour.
But that's why like it's interesting, and it's interesting to see the character in a different light from what we've seen from Charlie Cox's Daredevil. He's more of that serious, gritty tone of a character. That's, I guess people could say he's kind of like that emo type phase pretty much within like the Netflix, but I think it's cool to see him like kind of play out a lighter tone, and him being a little bit more, shows more of his quip with his sarcasm and stuff like that, bantering back between himself and Jennifer. We kind of got that already within Netflix, but it wasn't as lighthearted. He kind of did it like slightly like sprinkled throughout,
sparingly
like
for sure, just to kind of break up the mood. But generally, he wasn't necessarily as lighthearted because there was generally big shit going down.
Yeah, like for him, it was doing like a lot of sex trafficking, a lot of drug deals going on, dealing with mercenaries, stealing guns and everything so forth. So there's two different vibes. There's a New York vibe, and there's a Cali vibe. The Cali vibe, you're more upbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Dudes throwing knives at you, cutting chunks of your skin off.
Yeah, dude.
No bullshit.
That's why I think I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm not really criticizing him at all, because there is some things that I thought it was kind of off for the character, but I won't really say anything when it comes to the character until I see him in Echo and within his own show, because really it's two different vibes. Like She-Hulk and going to Echo seems more of that serious that serious tone within street levels of them dealing with the Kingpin and how Maya Lopez, aka Echo, kind of dealing, trying to get away from him. And then that's more of a kind of a darker tone compared to this within this show.
Oh,
This
yeah,
show
for
is like
sure.
more of a Sex and the City vibe in that sense, and that's why I think it's I'm really just appreciating that he finally made it over after so many years of like them only having clippings of the background within like all the Netflix shows. The incident, the Battle of New York, and like they even talked about it all throughout, like casually in conversations, and like they kind of like made some Easter egg references with the Marvel characters, but they didn't really fully establish it until recently when like Netflix finally gave over to all the characters back to Marvel towards Disney. So it was very cool to see that finally be played out. I'm being optimistic with his with what they're gonna do with that character, with Matt Murdock's character and everything so forth.
Hell
See
yeah,
how he
for
is
sure.
with other characters. I've always wanted to see how he's gonna interact with Spider-Man, because there is a couple, even in the cartoons, there is shows that Matt Murdock.
Yeah,
And
man. I want that. I want that crossover for Spider-Man 4. Make it happen, y'all. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Or throw Spider-Man and Born Again. I'm cool with it either way.
That will be cool too. So it's gonna be cool. Finally, cool to see. Besides seeing like some pretty much like the Defender cast characters within the comics, for him to actually interact with other characters.
Hashtag bring back Mike Coulter.
Dude, I actually want. I didn't mind his Luke Cage, dude. He
Love
was
his Luke Cage. I dug that series, man. And where it ended off was fucking crazy. He's the kingpin of the neighborhood now. That's fucking crazy. I'm like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, and that could have easily set up another Defender season 2 with having everybody go towards like Luke Cage, dealing with another antagonist besides himself, trying to bring him back from that dark side.
Was it called The Defenders or Defenders?
The Defenders. It was I think it was the Defenders. I think it was the Defenders. I always said the Defenders like series because I always use it as a article in like the nail.
Yeah, it was called The Defenders. Yeah.
Was it? Okay, that's why
The Defenders.
Yeah, because that's why I'm like the Defenders, because it just rolls off the tongue. It'll be so weird. It's like, yeah, the series Defenders. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, what are you defending from? It's like, it's supposed to be like
this summer,
dude.
Matt Murdock returns with She-Hulk,
Which, ooh,
attorney at law.
That would be interesting.
Trailer Man is back.
I think that's why like within that, it's gonna be cool to finally see the street levels characters that finally interact with each other. Like, man, dude, that's like something that I've always wanted for like even like with the show. I'm like, dude, you know how badass it would be if we even had like Black Widow, because Black Widow is technically a love interest for Daredevil, and we never really got that.
We never got that chance to see that.
I was like, fuck.
Wow.
That's why I was like, okay.
Hey, maybe Matty Boy gonna get around and get with Yelena. You know what I'm saying? She's single right now, right?
He might.
What's that relationship status looking like? Swipe right, Daredevil. Come on.
Yeah, that guy, he's being a player right now. He's already a player.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you what, man. I ain't hating the game. I was loving this episode for sure.
Yeah,
Obviously,
bro.
Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is a huge boost. Obviously, we're both huge fans of that interpretation of the character. You're obviously a huge just Daredevil character fan in general. I've always was more casual, but Netflix really got me into that character because as a kid of the 2000s, I grew up with Ben Affleck Daredevil, which isn't garbage in his performance, but the movie is not great. So it wasn't really sticking for me in my mind at the time. It was kind of like, yep, definitely ain't digging Daredevil still. And then once that Netflix came in 2015, Netflix got that deal going, everything changed. And from then on, huge Daredevil fan, everything with Charlie Cox, I'm just a huge fan of him now. So getting to finally see him play in the MCU proper, in the sandboxes, both Matt Murdock and Daredevil, in the courtroom, in the streets, in the bar, in the sheets, I love it, man. And I love getting to see the full range of the character. And just getting to see more with Jen. Jen's just being a real person, doing her lawyer stuff, trying to get the dress for the gala, hooking up with Matt Murdock because she's digging the vibes, helping him out with some crime stuff because their clients are working together and whatnot as we get into more of the recap section of the episode, which we will shortly, but was digging all that. I love the writing of this episode. This was back to episodes 1 through 3 for me in all the best aspects of those first 3 episodes where The quips are good. The jokes are smart. They're fast, quick. We're in, we're out. We're moving the story along. We're getting character development with people. Matt included a little bit. We're getting to see a little bit of a lighter side with him. Getting to see him get a connection with somebody outside of everything that might have still been canon going on in the 3 seasons of Daredevil. Because we know he didn't end up with Karen. My boy's been kind of lost. He was hooking up with Elektra. She's a dead chick now. It's all kind of crazy shit going on. So Matt's love life definitely has not been in the most normal kind of sense, in a Steve Rogers kind of way, but in a different way. So getting to see their electric chemistry, man. Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Charlie Cox, and then Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. Tatiana Maslany, need an MCU project together. Stat. I want that freaking team up again immediately, as soon as possible. Their chemistry was off the charts in both the action sense and just the on-screen chemistry with the whole love connection going on. They had such great chemistry. That was kind of reminding me of almost like Iron Man and Pepper Potts, you know what I'm saying? Like Tony Stark, Pepper Potts. That was kind of that electric energy that we have not seen in a couple in that same way in a long time, man. Because even though Jane's a little bit better with my boy Chris Hemsworth and Thor in Love and Thunder, I think they did a better job of really establishing that connection they had. This was just great out the gate. I loved that. And everything with Leapfrog, hilarious, man.
Oh, God,
I gotta say. His whole introductory scene that we can kind of get into and kind of transition a little bit in the recap in a sense too, where we start off with Leapfrog trying to stop those so-called criminals or whatever they're doing, probably just someone that he has a beef with. As we find out, he ain't necessarily a superhero. He's using Luke Jacobson's technology, and he's a dumbass and put jet fuel in his boots, as we'll get to later. And he's trying to shoot, and the whole scene with him trying to get away, eating shit because his fucking boot things don't work out, like he's a ghetto Iron Man. That was hilarious, and it was giving me Kick-Ass vibes the whole time, which I thought was really fucking funny. Not just the color scheme of the suit, but just the way he was fighting and just failing at everything. I thought that was fantastic, and that's where I thought the She-Hulk writers, I'm like, man, y'all were having a good day in the office, that one, because they were killing it on those particular scenes, and that whole introduction with him and the whole thing with him actually being a bad dude by the end of the episode, I thought was a nice, fun workaround, a nice villain of the week that ties into everything you've established. The guy that creates suits, Matt Murdock cameo crossover. Jen has a previous established connection with Luke Jacobson already. So I love the way that this is all working in synergy, and it all makes sense. And I know some people are actually kind of spinning the narrative now that maybe the MCU is starting to rely too much on their Phase 1 through 3 nostalgia. And they're starting to rely on getting the old Spider-Man back and getting all these different things together to try to pull on those nostalgia things. You know, Hugh Jackman coming back. You know, so I personally don't think so, but I think I can see where people are coming from, and I think they're in danger of doing so if they don't find great stories and great reasons to tell the stories for these characters to return. But in my mind, Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3, that's poetry, baby.
Yeah, that's like
you know what I mean? Come on
like
now.
more
The Spider-Verse in real life? Come on, who didn't want that? So for me, the nostalgia they're playing on actually makes sense, unlike Disney just remaking everything they made in the last 40 years.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Conversation for another day. But you know what I'm saying? So I think the MCU has the right to pull in some nostalgia and use some cameos and do those things, because I think unlike Star Wars, they don't rely on it. They built up their own foundation, so now they can play with those things every now and again. You can pull it out the toy chest. We can play around with the toy for a minute, but make sure you put them back in the freaking toy chest, man. I don't want them out there all the time before the dog goes and gets them. But anyway, but yeah, man, I loved all of that, and and I think just the introduction to Matt was just perfect, man. Lawyer representing a person against another lawyer representing a person, happened to be She-Hulk. Bam, there you go.
Right.
I love that, man. But yeah, man, just getting into some of the recap portions of it too, man. Getting into Leapfrog being an idiot and him getting eating shit and getting third-degree burns everywhere. Jen's like, all right, well, it looks like according to your story, if that's fact, you got a lot of shit going for you, so you should win this case. He's all, fuck yeah, let's get it. But then her boss is like, hold the fucking phone, She-Hulk, all right? He represents a very important client of ours, or he's a very important client of ours. We don't want to necessarily sue him if we don't have to, so why don't you take this over to him and see if you can get him to make an agreement to pay the guy some of the money, so that way we don't have to file this and go to court. Jacobson, being the arrogant dude that he is like, well, my shit ain't faulty, which does turn out to be true. And he's like, my shit don't malfunction. I got a flawless record. You tripping. all right, well, fuck your suit then if you're going to take me to court. And then Jen's like, well, fuck you then. So they end up going to court.
He ripped it
yeah,
up.
he legit ripped that shit up. I don't know how he
like,
fixed it so much in time. This guy is a genius, man. So we got our
miracles.
MCU Edna mode. He's pissed. He ain't having it. And then we end up jumping over to court where at first people are thinking, Jacobson's going to represent himself. This dude's way too full of himself. But here we go, baby. We see a stick coming through the door, y'all. He was late. He got lost in the parking lot, guys. Matt Murdock's up in the motherfucking house. He's back in the MCU, and I know my man Skips had to jump out of his chair. I know.
Yeah, I pretty much did. I got pretty pumped, and I didn't like when I seen him. Like, all right, there he is, dude. He's going back in the courtroom.
Yeah, we got the
back
colors,
in New
baby.
York
We
City.
rocking it today.
Dude, that's why I was like, okay, it's cool. And then like I like the one like the couple of jokes I did like was like the one when he actually like talks like kind of like makes little jokes about his blindness. I was like, okay, this is something that he would bring up.
I liked that.
For
I was
sure.
like, that felt
I'm
very
like,
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, I'm like
he would
that,
say something like that, like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late," blah 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 blah, trying
Yeah.
to break up the tension in the room and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because he did make jokes, I think, in some of the Netflix episodes. I think in the courtroom, right?
He within the
Like
courtroom,
a couple little quips every now and again. I thought like kind of like sarcastic remarks and things of that nature.
like very slightly. Usually within the courtroom, he kept it pretty serious. Like within the Punisher trial,
Maybe that was when they were in the office. Maybe is what I'm thinking.
yeah, like that's when he'll drop a lot of his quickness mainly out of the courtrum because Matt
true.
like pretty much always seen it as more of it's a professional thing. So he always kept it professional. That's why
True.
like he does this profession, does extraordinary well with, back like going back to Netflix, and then just ends it there. And then usually outside the courtroom, that's like outside the courtroom, like the moment they step out of the room, that's when he'll probably be a lot more sarcastic, more quip
True.
dealing with like whoever he was with and stuff like that.
But it fit the show, and it fit. I don't know. It just fit.
Oh yeah,
I don't
no,
know,
it
was
like
weird.
it does
I don't
fit.
know how it works, but it works.
It fit because like we already know like within the show it's a She-Hulk show. Like they're gonna be doing something like that within the courtroom, within the show itself. So they'll like crack a light-hearted joke already as it is. So it's not like it's something like completely like bizarre. It's just like a quick remark that he made, like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't find parking, even though he's blind as shit. And then that's what and it's like you said before, it eases the tension of the room, and then like he's able to go to his place to consult with Jacobson, and then from there he proceeds to like pretty much school Jennifer at that point.
Man, I was like, he was running circles around our girl, man, because she'd been kind of winning all the cases and stuff, doing her thing, lawyer of the year and all that, or female lawyer of the year, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And all that. So I like seeing Matt in his element again, and I'm like, yep, just didn't miss a beat. Charlie Cox just killing it, and the whole reason of him discovering the jet fuel, as we know, he can smell everything, and super abilities and whatnot.
Yeah,
but he was able to smell it, because most blind people can smell better than us anyway, because all their senses are heightened due to having the lack of one of them. So
right.
that all played very well. I thought that wasn't like, did you get the joke? Like, I was like, yes, this is back to that good old balanced writing that She-Hulk was doing so well in the beginning, but lost their way. I was like, this is we're back, baby, we're back. And I figured that Matt Murdock would be that nice bridge into giving us that focus and giving us what we wanted, but giving us back to what we needed for the show and for Jennifer moving forward as well. I really just dug all of that, man. And as I alluded to earlier, loved everything with Jen in this one. And she was kind of feeling Matt from the jump, man, because we jump over to the bar and he ends up buying her a drink and everything. So we know Matt's got his eyes on her, too. And he's over there smoothing over the tension from winning the case and all that. And he gets into a discussion with her, though, in a little more serious tone of she could really do some real good, because she can be herself and doesn't have to hide behind her identity. She can go to court, represent her clients, and do the big thing and pay her bills and everything. But she can also go out there and help others and save the city in a sense, in a way that Matt Murdock can't. So I love the way that they were really having a real conversation, really bonding. They had the flirtation, they had all that great chemistry that started right there in that bar scene, and that's the stuff I was waiting for with this show, man. And everything just really hit well from there. Jen's thinking, oh, hey, let's get another round, but my main man, he's got to go get Jacobson because he's got to go suit up. But I already knew he's going to go suit up for something. But then when she gets back, she ends up realizing that, oh, shit, damn, my client is getting into trouble. I got to go stop his ass, and that ends up making her running, or he calls her and he's like, help, I need help, someone's attacking me. And she's like, physically?
Oh.
For real? And he's like, yeah, hurry up. Daredevil's on his fucking car on that ass. He's trying to get this dude because he's kidnapped Jacobson. So Daredevil's hot on the tracks. She-Hulk suits up. We finally get to see the comic accurate suit, which I gotta say, costume department, chef's kiss. Y'all did it again. The MCU is just freaking, what are we at? 12 years, freaking 14 years and running, and they're still killing it with the costumes, I tell you. They only had one miss with the first Captain America suit. After that, we've been fucking killing it.
You gotta give him a break.
Hey, I'm just saying. They're like, they're like 29 to 1 or something. If you're talking movies, okay? They're 30 something to 1. I gotta point out the one, okay? MCU ain't perfect. We gotta let the people know. You youngins might not remember that, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
It is. Hey, 10-year anniversary of Avengers, dog. It's been a minute.
Holy fuck, bro, dude! I remember back in high school when that shit just dropped, dude. That was pretty pumped.
That and Amazing Spider-Man, same summer.
Yeah, dude.
Stuff, right? And it's all back in play.
All back in play, coming around. Yeah, dude.
Full fucking circle, man. But yeah, moving on from there, you get the whole, the Entertainment Tonight did put out that clip yesterday of She-Hulk and Daredevil getting in that little skirmish or whatever. And my boy, man, you can't touch this guy. Like, he literally should have been bumping MC Hammer, you know what I mean? Because you could not touch this. This fool was like, my ass is completely unwhooped. And she's like, not for long, homie. And then he ends up jumping down the whole motherfucking thing. And then I'm like, geez, this guy, damn.
That's why at that point I'm like, he's
full comic book Daredevil, and I dig it.
That's fully going into that within the skill set, and that's like we only seen the movements. We've seen like a little bit of like how he was with the fight scenes. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting a little bit more to what we see within the Echo series and even the show of his own.
Hell yeah,
because I liked his acrobaticness already and being more involved. For me, I'm thinking that they're gonna go. That soft reboot is gonna happen for sure, but because like already, like if we're gonna go off of Netflix, that guy he can't even fucking do anything with at that point, dude. That guy was
knocked the hell out of this fucker, dude.
Yeah, like this guy, like he would have been his body's already beaten up to the pulp unless they do like that whole time the time jump thing, or they actually follow the events with it. I could probably see it then, but that's a lot of stuff we won't get that established until Echo or
Born Again. 2024, it can't come soon enough.
Yeah, dude. But I like other than that, I really did enjoy like his display so far already within that scene.
Loving the suit, I was like, man. I was
like,
it.
Oh hell yeah, the mustard color.
Yeah, baby, ketchup and mustard. We doing it, man. We doing it. And then we go on from there, and then they're like, well, bam, she finally stops him because she does the good old clap trick. Call back. I'm like, good job, writers. Let's go. Like this is. Goddamn, where was this for the last 3 episodes? Before this, like, goddamn, where was this before the damn retreat? God damn it. But anyway, I was like, it was just so good. Yeah, and he's like, oh shit, and he gets eat shit. And then the one thing I really liked but was shocked by was how she just came up to him, bam, quickly unmasked him. Matt, I was like, oh great, we're not dragging this out. Awesome. Yeah, and it makes sense because she's a Hulk. He can't overpower her. He can't stop her at that point.
Yeah, at that point, with the moment you fuck with his hearing, and that's like the huge thing for that's why he keeps his identity, his deafness too, as a hero, super minimal. Because a lot of the times the villains throughout like the comics, I think there was a series within the Daredevil's comics that they find out that Matt was deaf, and they start exploiting that a lot more, and they start fucking around with the hearing.
You mean that he's blind?
Not blind. Oh yeah, he's blind, and also with like the hearing and stuff like that. I got that like mixed up. Because I was like going over like a lot more.
I was like, what? He was deaf at one point. I was like, holy shit.
No, but they messed with it for him to become deaf because like what they did is like they'll fuck around, like they'll have like high frequency hearing to fuck with him, which would impair
high frequency emitters and things like that that can shoot out a high frequency out of like a speaker or some kind of device. Oh yeah,
and then that fucked up a lot. That's kind of like how back in the comics in Old Man Logan, that's how Enchantress was able to make his head explode because of that.
Holy shit, I gotta read that one.
Because she already knew that Daredevil already has like that heightened senses already as it is, and she fucked it from there. So that's why I liked how they kind of still appealed to that. And
Yeah.
then like he kind of, then that's why he tells Jennifer like I kind of have to keep everything onto the down low. I can't let him know that I'm blind, and I also have heightened senses as well, because
That's his
people
weakness
will,
right there. That's
people will
his
take
strength that could become an easy weakness.
Yeah, for sure. But I also do like that too within that whole little confliction that they had between the two once the unveiling happened out. You hear the Daredevil soundtrack playing off a little bit in the background. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
that was
fuck.
dope. He's like, I'm freaking Daredevil. The
Yeah,
hell?
I didn't like you
I'm
start
like,
hearing
yeah,
it.
hit them notes, son.
Hit it, get it going,
I'm like,
dude.
oh, you know they're gonna bring it back, right? I was like, even if it's a
Yeah.
new rendition, they're gonna bring that back. So I love that, like how Michael Giacchino did the classic Spider-Man theme. How
Yeah.
we did the Spider-Man. He did that shit in the orchestral, so that was dope. So
Yeah,
hell yeah, man,
yeah.
that was a good call, man. I forgot about that detail. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up going over to Leapfrog's place where he's chilling with his tadpoles. And I was like, oh god, dude, don't name your fucking minions tadpoles, man.
Dude, one of the guys was feeling it too. I was like,
I'm
what
like,
the fuck? I'm like, why why I don't want to be called as a tadpole?
I
like,
know.
dude.
I'm like, you corny motherfucker. But it was funny though. And then Daredevil and She-Hulk arrive. He's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna have to go take out these goons. We got about, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. I think we got about 10 guys, 3 in the front, 2 in the back, whatever. And she's like, oh damn, how do you know all that? Super hearing, echolocation, like you said. Remember? And she's
Right.
like, why don't we just go in there and just smash them up? He's like, I'm trying to go in stealthy.
right.
Now hold up, I'm gonna take him out. She's like, it's gonna take you like 15 minutes, and he's like, that's not the way the math turns. The math ain't right.
It's the
just
math
letting you
doesn't
know.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your math,
And then, like,
your math
he
isn't adding up.
And he was like saying too, like, because it's true, like he has like the most experience dealing with these type of situations, and
Yup.
he even mentions it up. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize pretty much you've done this before. Like I've done this pretty much like hundreds
Yeah,
of times and
this
stuff like
millions
that."
of times, yeah. What
Then
you
that's
talking about?
when she kind of like, I guess he went with it, but she was kind of annoyed with it, and then that's when he
Yeah.
just go off the building pretty much.
Yeah,
But
because my main man was in there tearing up motherfuckers, bro.
yeah, dude, yeah. And then like even before he jumps, he mentions the heartbeat, and that's when he makes
Oh,
that
right.
little thing. He's all saying, "I can feel yours," and yours is like beating pretty quickly, and she's like getting all like she's getting nervous because she's feeling like all flustered about with his character, and she's already starting to have some feelings already about him. And that's
Oh,
when he
dude.
kind of plays it off a lot more from there.
And then he starts walking towards going to sneak in there, and she's all fucking doing that dance move. That shit
Oh,
cracked me
yeah.
up, bro. I was fucking cracking. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
I was like, what are
He
you
turns
doing?
around, he's
Like,
like, what are you doing?
even
And I
he was like,
see,
that's
this is. I was like, I like the silly stuff that Jennifer be doing. That's the stuff I really love about her character, man. I was like, this is it, guys. I was like, see, if we can end on this note, I'm gonna be looking much more forward to anything they do with her from now on. Like now that the show's ending on like a good note, I'm like, yes, cool. We landed the plane. We had a rough ass ride for a minute, but I've landed the plane, I think, and I think we landed it, and we're in one piece. So I think it's like, okay, cool. But it's like everything with Jen, I just love that, and their whole dynamic was awesome. Getting to
Yeah.
see Daredevil go full on, kick some ace, and take some names. And then
Yeah.
she ends up, we think we're about to get set up for an epic Daredevil hallway fight 3. And we're like, oh shit, here we go. And then here it comes, She-Hulk smash. She comes in through the building and causes hella property damage and fucks up the
Yep.
dudes. And he's like, oh man, that was the audience everywhere, dude. There's like reactions for people watching it, like, oh.
they're like, what the fuck?
Damn
I'm
it.
like, Derek, because that's like a huge thing for you.
Yeah, I
for
was
the
like, hallway
shows.
fight, let's go.
I'm like, dude, he's about to body him. Because even before he was gonna run into those goons, dude, like I liked how they messed
Run
a
into
lot
them fools.
more. Yeah, like I liked like the way he was fighting throughout like that. Pretty much like the 3 goons that you had, and pretty much just using the sticks, pretty much just to help him out,
Yep.
just to like actually perform throwing them against the side. He actually uses the extension of it. We only seen like a little bit of that within
Yeah,
the
true.
Netflix, but not too much. Like he only did it probably once or twice, or maybe like.
Just when he
Like, I would say, like,
absolutely needed to.
Yeah.
Where this one, it was more like a very essential part of his overall combat. So that's really dope. Like I said, they're really leaning into full comic book Daredevil in the way that the 2004, I believe, original wanted to do, but didn't nail it. And then Netflix wanted to get away from that, obviously, because you kind of had to go in the polar opposite direction, a la Batman style. And now I think we're going to get this nice blend of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of like
yeah.
the Batfleck. I feel like we're going to get that with this. It's kind of like we get comic book, but we get the gritty at the same
gritty
time.
is
So I
really
love
too.
that moving forward, and I hope they maintain that. And I think Born Again can have that gritty storytelling, but just have more heightened action. I think that'd be cool. It's like a darker Falcon Winter Soldier or something like that. So I think that could be really, really exciting. depending
Yeah.
on where they go with that. And then Echo as well. You would assume is going to go more in that Secret Invasion, Winter Soldier vibe. So the future of Daredevil looks very bright, and everything going on with this scene was absolutely a delight. And then we end up getting a little cute scene with them afterwards, man, just talking about everything. And then Daredevil's thinking he's gonna have to make dinner plans and everything when he comes back out to Cali, but she's like, nah, let's just skip all that right now. Let's go back to my place. And I'm like, damn, you're in there, boy. And we get the
like
full on
towards the
hookup.
end?
Yeah, we get that full on hookup, and I'm thinking, damn, the episode's about to end right now. Jen's happy. She just hooked up with Daredevil, man. How cool is that? That's great stuff. And then they hook up. He wakes up in the morning and everything like that, doing the walk of shame.
Oh,
And I wish they
yeah.
would have showed Nikki walking past him. I think that would have been really funny.
I
They
thought-
missed- they missed
man.
an opportunity to have her
For-
walking by like.
Yeah, like I
They
get.
really should have did that.
That's where like the tone of shows. That's where my confliction with like how do you portray Matt.
Right,
that's like
right.
I'm like,
The walk
dude,
of
like
shame.
yeah, I'm like, dude, you're giving my boy the walk of fucking shame, dude. You couldn't give him like a new fucking shirt or whatever the fuck. You could have like picked something up, but no,
Nope.
he had to walk out with his Daredevil suit. I was
Man.
like, dude, I'm like, okay.
I was glad
I'm like,
to sacrifice that for the bit on that one occasion. I was like, that's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Just
that's
to
what I
have
was-
that meme and that GIF is worth the world, man. I'm like, that's great stuff.
Yeah. That's why I think it's one of the, it's one of those things that it's cool to finally see, what they're gonna be doing next with like the whole character arc and stuff like that as well. I think that's what's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be so cool to see. And like I mentioned earlier, man, the episode ain't over. And even Jen was saying, man, we're about to come to a nice conclusion. That was fun. Nikki's all happy for her and everything. She's like, okay, you got with the guy dressed as the devil. All right, do your thing, girl. Good guy? Good? It's good? All right, cool. You do your thing. You got to get you dressed. It's time to go. We got to get ready for the gala. She's like, oh, shit. She's like, all right, gala, finale. Cool. Nope. We jump right over to it, man. She-Hulk looking all dazzling and whatnot. And, yeah, she's meeting up with her parents and everything. Nice to see her fam once again. And everyone's
Right.
there for her big Female of the Year award ceremony and all that good jazz. And then we see her and Amelia as well and some other folks up there accepting the award because a whole bunch of them won apparently. And, yeah, it was really cool to see all that. Just kind of get a nice down-to-earth scene with her and the fam, her and her friends and all that. But then shit really does hit the fan because Hulk King, a.k.a. the MCU Hulk Anonymous, comes up in there, hacks the system somehow, and says,
Do you want to know the truth about She-Hulk? She's a slut. Look at her go.
God, I
and then
don't
they had
even.
that footage of Josh that he leaked out. I'm like, oh, you just totally did a Pam Anderson, Tommy Lee to her. How dare you, sir? And then she's like, oh, man, this sucks. And I was like, damn, bro. This is poignant for the times, but damn, that sucks. I'm like, never
Yeah.
been there, not a girl, but that sucks. Because even if a dude gets leaked out, unless you're looking like, think of me, you're usually pretty good. It's like
Right.
women, though, it's like a thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's a huge thing. for
Dudes are
sure.
usually like, how'd you fuck up and get your shit leaked? But whatever. You can move on. But it's like with women, it's like a whole other thing that totally changes people's perspective and opinion of them. So I was like, I like the way that they were putting in these things in there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's going to set her off. That makes sense. And it does. And she's about to go full on rage Hulk mode. I was like, I thought she was about to go really ham. Like when she like looks up and looks all crazy in the eyes and shit. I was like, is she about to like tear up everything? But luckily,
Yeah.
she gets control of herself before she starts killing off a bunch of people, which I think was a conscious choice by the directors and the writing team, which I think in this sense was good. I think they didn't need to necessarily swing the pendulum that dark. But
Right.
but yeah, she's pissed, and now people are scared of her, and now she's caused a scene. So now the public perception is bound to change for She-Hulk. So where are things going to end up for her in the future and in the finale, I'm not sure. And she kind of was going to get her hands on one of the people involved, but she had to let him go because all those, I'll assume like Damage Patrol or something pulled up because you don't have
Yeah,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
I
running
think-
around.
I think
and
for
they
sure,
pulled
yeah.
up on her and got the guns on her. And she's like, "Ugh." Like, shit, he got away. And then she starts to calm down and realizes, like, oh, fuck, I done fucked up. And I'm like, damn, that leaves things in a very interesting place. Where are things going to go from here? I'm not even quite sure. And that pretty much wraps up all the big plot points and all the big story of episode 8, man. Great
That's
episode.
just-
This is the one episode I can say other than maybe one. Great episode.
I think for sure for myself, it's like it went from Matt okay. Like
I feel you, yeah. Like
that's
for me,
why-
I'm just at like where I was, like okay to pretty good. I'm like, okay, I'm back where we were. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was starting to decline. I was like, uh-oh. And then I was like, okay, whew. Oh,
yeah,
God
dude.
damn, you know.
Like I would say, like the rating, like it didn't go up like too high. I would like give it like a solid back to the 5 spectrum. Like I think like it's mainly because like the scene, like the Daredevil will play that whole huge factor and stuff like that. But for myself, like how we mentioned before, is that the kind of like I felt like the kind of did bring in Matt Murdock because they were kind of having troubles within the writers' room, and they
Trying
kind
to
of
crack
had
that story. How do we end this off? How do we make this wholly satisfying for those fanboys, us MCU fanboys, us day oneers? You know what I'm saying? So, and I think this episode, I thought they presented it pretty smoothly. But I think in the overall picture of the series as a overall flow of a story, you can definitely see that detour there. But
right.
the execution was good.
Yeah. That's why I think with that overall, it's just that's what it's gonna say on that rating for sure.
Yeah.
Because they could,
Like
if
you
they would
mentioned
have,
before, like you don't want to get too hyperbolic about it. Like, oh my god, it's the greatest show ever now. It's
yeah, like
just
going
this one cameo. You got to go on She-Hulk alone, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, good, great episode, but you're like, okay, I still got to keep it where it's at. Where I was already a bit more positive, so I'm kind of back where I was. So I think we're kind of like you're like a little better than you were before, and I'm kind of just back where I kind of was before on our reception level, I guess.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I think overall with the show, I think just the characters. If they're gonna do a season 2, they gotta have to get like a better, like scrap out with like the writers and get somebody with is I guess new and kind of have that consistent pattern of what they want to go with the character. Because personally, for me, I feel like the character was kind of like all over the place when it comes to like development. We only seen it like glimpses of it throughout like some episodes, but it's like very brief and everything so forth. We got to see that a little bit more within this episode, and that's for me. I thought about it and I thought if they kind of like played that a little bit more within the series, it would have been a better reception for myself, even if they still had it within what they were going for the targeted audience, which they could, but I don't think the writers were able to match that whole vibe and everything so forth for what they were trying to go for, to have like that perfect blend, I guess, if you would say.
Yeah, I'm totally picking up what you're putting down, man. Like, to make a good MCU example for our fellow MCU fanboys and fangirls out there, y'all know Thor Ragnarok, 2017's Thor Ragnarok, right? We all, some of us older peeps, maybe in your mid 20s, early 30s, man, you'll kind of know that Thor was not necessarily the hottest dude in the block. He wasn't necessarily the character everyone was clamoring for a third film after his second film disappointed. They needed a new, fresh direction. So they went and got Taika Waititi to freaking inject a boost of fun into the franchise, right? Mm-hmm. He co-wrote the script with, I can't remember the woman's name, but he co-wrote the script with this one lady, and they created this nice, great tonal balance of MCU Thor with this new Taika Waititi zaniness that just happened to make a perfect blend for the actor that can pull off the comedic chops and has the comedic chops to pull off the zany humor that's in there. Tom Hiddleston, great actor. As we see with Tessa Thompson, she's phenomenal. So everyone was able to play in the sandbox, and they had a nice, well-balanced script that really brought a lot of nice shades for the character of Thor, some great development, some great insight into him, and some growth, but we also had a lot of fun. Like, we got to do the help me, and I'm not doing help me, dude. You know what I'm saying? We had so many countless great bits with the thing. It's a crown. Hold on, wait it. I'm turning back around. Give me a second. I'm not even doing it, I swear. There's just so many fun moments, but when you get to Odin, and when you get to the whole Raiden moment, and you get to like Loki really choosing the right side and doing the right thing, and the whole ending with, all right, brother, we're together, we're gonna do this thing. Bam, Thanos is here, bitch. Like, the whole way they balanced the tone was just perfect. And in this show, they didn't quite nail it with the writing team and getting that balance of MCU template and the new template they wanted to do for that Sex in the City, that new vibe. Miss Marvel, that team did the Degrassi meets MCU in a great, perfect blend for me. The only aspect for that show, like we mentioned before, was the villains. This is not a problem that's foreign to the MCU, so I don't really like to harp on that because it's not like that's the first time, but they've had some great improvement. So that's kind of more like, I had a lot of movies that had that same problem that I do enjoy, so that for me, for Miss Marvel, didn't derail too much of my enjoyment, but just kind of the grading of it. This to me was derailing some of our enjoyment of it, and other people that are in a similar camp as us. Like episode 4, I thought it had a fun vibe to it, but at times it got in the way of the storytelling, other than the moments where Jen was going on her dates and having that moment with the dude and getting to connect with him and all that, making the dating app. All that's relatable, all that's character driven, But once they kind of went into all the zaniness from that till episode 6, we kind of lost our way. And we kind of got stuck in all the goofiness, and we kind of forgot about the character development with Jen that was present in the first 3 episodes. These last 2 episodes have done a much better job of getting back into that. Although last episode was definitely a little more focused on it than this one, I loved how it kind of was informing what happened last time. Forget about Josh, have fun, and embrace those that you feel a true connection with. She did that with Matt Murdock, and I love the way that she took Abomination's advice to heart and did that. That I thought was really good writing, and I hope that they can continue that for the finale, but it's definitely like that middle section is always going to be that flawed point, I think, kind of almost universally for everybody. Almost, unless you just love this thing from beginning to end, which I know those are some people out there, some of y'all out there feel that way. So I'm with you, brother. Like, it's that bumps in the road and some of that storytelling they're not quite honing in on that I hope in the future they can just get a team that can get that perfect balance between both.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's pretty much all it really is. Because like the Charlie and Tatiana, she's pretty much already like they already have that vibe already set up for themselves already as playing the characters of She-Hulk and Matt Murdock. So we kind of already seen that throughout this episode, and we can easily see it be more flourished out in a much better way within within projects down the line. They could easily have a cameo of She-Hulk going over to New York City and then having her dealing with what Matt Murdock has to deal with throughout the day to day and everything and so forth. So there's like obviously a lot of story potentials that they have there.
For sure.
And they have the talent already there. It's just get them on the good writing script and we could easily make it work. That's for sure a thing.
Hell yeah, man. Like, it's going to be great to see where things go in the future for Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. She-Hulk, and, of course, our boy, Matty Boy. It's great to see you, man. It's great to see you. Great to have him back it's great to have him in the fold officially in both and Daredevil and Matt Murdock, man. But we want to hear from y'all in the comments below. What did you think about this episode? Were you loving it like me? Were you enjoying it as much as Skips? Are you kind of like, too little too late, bruh. I'm good. Or have you been loving the show and this just put it through the roof for you? I want to hear from y'all in the comments, man. And if you hated the show, let us know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an open forum for everyone to share their opinions, whether it's good or bad. All we always ask is just keep it respectful, keep it fun, and we can get into the nitty-gritty of this one because this is definitely a mixed project within the MCU, and it's going to be that. It's going to have that discourse going on. And that's been kind of our dynamic, if we can speak, for the whole time we've been doing these recaps. Skippy's definitely been on the more mixed element than I have. You know what I'm saying? So we always want to open up that open discussion, man. And it's always a blast getting to do these things, man. And this is always a highlight for me, man. And especially right now in my life, man. This is just such a great blast to be able to sit down and break down all this fandom frequency dopeness with y'all. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and appreciate every one of you watchers, every one of you subscribers. You mean the world to us, guys.
You definitely do. You guys definitely do. You guys make it pretty fun experience, be able to talk about what we thought about the show and hear your guys' feedback within anything that we talk about within the discussion forums and everything so forth. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. And right before we wrap this thing up, I just wanted to get your opinion on this one. There was a rumor about one of the great up-and-coming actresses, Isa Gonzalez, I believe is how you say it correctly. She's known from, like, Baby Driver, Godzilla vs. Kong. A really talented actress. She was actually the runner-up for Catwoman as well.
Oh,
Zoe
really?
Kravitz just beat her out, yeah. So we almost got Isa Gonzalez Catwoman, which I think if Zoe wasn't it, that would have been my choice. But I don't work at Warner Brothers. But getting more focused here, there was rumors going around online for the last week that she was being looked at or possibly was secretly cast or about to sign the dotted line on the role of Elektra. So they were going to recast it with her. She really does fit the overall aesthetic of the character, actually, very well.
She
has
does.
Like a very similar build. She, I know the only difference really is she's Mexican, not Italian. But, I mean, it ain't like we talking white to black or something. So, I mean, I don't think it's like we're going like a whole extreme there with the race bend or anything. But she did come out and say that that's not true. Because a lot of fans were starting to throw hate her way and weren't digging the idea because some wanted the other actress back, who I'm not opposed to either. I thought she did a great job.
Oh, within the Netflix series?
Yeah, I thought she was good. Like, I had no problem with that actress at all. I thought some of the writing with the character later got a little lame with Defenders, but that's another conversation for another day when we get more Daredevil heavy. But But overall, she already denied the rumors and said she's got a deal to do an exclusive series with Netflix and stuff. So she has a lot of stuff going on. So she's not going to be doing this Daredevil project. But would you be down for her to do it if she ever chose to do it, if they wanted to recast it with her? Or would you want the old girl back? For a woman, I should say.
That's hard. I mean, I wouldn't mind either or. Preferably, I would rather have the old cast because it's already, the chemistry's already there. They already have like that whole background story rebuilding up that a lot of people are starting to get more familiarized as they watch the Daredevil series and starting to get to know more about the characters. And if they're going to make like the reboot and stuff like that, I guess it'll make more sense to bring in like a lot of the old cast, like get like all of them onto the show.
Same cast, recast. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it rolling. I'm with you, brother. I love me some Isa Gonzalez, though. I think she doesn't get enough credit because I do think she is pretty talented, and I don't think she necessarily had her dynamic lead role to really shine yet. And I really hope she does get that opportunity to do so. And here's my fan casting, just real quick for her in the MCU. If I had to pick a character off the top of my head. Psylocke. That would be my choice.
I guess
not Asian, which is, I know, might be controversial, but I would go with that if they don't want to necessarily go full on super duper comic book accurate. I would put her in the running for that. Or that's probably what I'd throw her in there for. Or Poison Ivy if you want to throw her in DC. But those are just my two choices, just some out of the box things, man. We want to hear from y'all too. Do you want to see Isa Gonzalez in the MCU? Do you want to see her in the role of Elektra? Or are you like, I don't even know who this is. I don't care. Peace out. Get the other lady back. Let us know what you think about that. Just wanted to drop a little of that pop culture news on you guys, man. But before we sign off for the day, man, any parting words, anything you want to say about the series or just in general, man, before we wrap it up?
Just as always, be mentally and physically strong and have a great rest of you guys' week and everything so forth, man.
Most definitely, man. We are wishing you all the best in whatever your endeavors are, man. And we appreciate you all for taking time out of your day to come check this out. And we're gonna have this on the podcast feed, so make sure you tune in on that and click that download button if you're listening on your drive to work. All right. So until we see you guys next time for the finale next week, make sure you stay safe out there. We're going to have Werewolf by Night dropping tomorrow here on the channel. Make sure you're tuning in. You're not sleeping on it because a werewolf might wake you up in the middle of the night, all right? So stay tuned. Don't sleep. And we're going to see y'all real soon, all right? Peace.
Peace.